Hi everyone, I'm Miriam Smith, a DNP. I just want to share my story because the question has been, what have inspired you to become a nurse, Miriam? And so because that question has resonated and I've been asked repeatedly, I've decided to share a little of my story. So here I was, a little girl, grew up in Blenheim, Manchester, Jamaica, West Indies. South Manchester to be exact. My experiences were experiential and interesting, especially on Sunday evenings when the children in the community and we all would gather at our home, at my mom's home, my parents' home, and we would play. We would play games like baseball, hopscotch, skipping, and cricket for the boys. And so in the evening, sometimes, Sunday evenings, my mom would actually act as a nurse. She wasn't really a nurse, but she would have had some gentian violet or the purple solution. When anyone starts crying, they would run to her with a bruise or anything, and she would she would apply the gentian violet. Little things would happen, little accidents, but not fatal. But there was a time, as I observed, I was concerned and I observed that what was happening. So what happened, there's this particular evening, my brother was playing cricket and the bat got out of his hand and hit me on my nose and just below my left nose and nostril. And what happened, it started bleeding and they had to take me to the doctor. The doctor actually did some suturing. It wasn't really aligned. However, I was grateful. That was the best at the time. So I still have the mark right here. But what was interesting is that my mom would keep helping little children or anybody they would call our home like the medicine home because she would have little things there in her little cabinet that she would use. And so this particular evening after I was seen at the doctor, came back home, stitches were removed at later date. And as I grew up, I thought of the whole thing that happened, the process of everything. I said I wanted to be a nurse or a social worker. The idea and the thought of caring continued because my mom was a very caring woman, not just to us, the children, but to the community and others. So I had that in me to be helpful. I went to West Indies College High School. My mom took me there. I don't forget the pretty dress and the pointy toe shoes. I was matriculated and I went through high school. I still decided I wanted to be a nurse. And so it happened. And I went from there after I finished I was in the fourth batch of the BSN program at the time. That's many years ago. And after completing there, I decided to go, because it was a private hospital I was trained, I decided I wanted new experiences. So I actually went to University of West Indies and worked for a very short time. And then I went to the great Kingston Public Hospital where you got cases of every kind, trauma cases, all different type of cases. And I got a lot of experience there. While I was there, I went to University of West Indies to pursue critical care, caring for the critically ill. I had to do a 1-year course there, postgrad, and then I went back to work at Kingston Public Hospital. While I worked there, I worked in recovery ICU. And after, I think, 8 years, I was recruited here in America as a critical care nurse. I worked in different capacities at different hospitals. Later, I pursued a master's in education at Mercy College, after which I continued working. I did different type of nursing, private duty, being an educator. In academia, I worked at Dominican College as an instructor, nursing instructor. So I've gained wide experiences. I worked at Jacobi Medical Center. I worked at Roosevelt. I worked at New York Presbyterian. There are many hospitals I've worked. I've done some private duty. I worked in the community as a visiting nurse of New York. I was there at September 9/11. I worked there flushing eyes patients with saline and sending them off. So I've had community nursing too. So my career has been really diverse too. I've gotten opportunity to travel with patients to abroad, and I've got some of that experiences that have rounded, have helped me to care for diverse population. My experiences have been vast, and I give God thanks for that. I've